Hi, this is Rob Lamb. Welcome back to my channel. And in this video, it's the long-awaited video of the latest features of REI Reply. I have seen the tool progress tremendously since I've joined them back in early 2021, not too long after they launched. And in this video, I go through very detailed, behind the curtain look at the major features of the tool, which has helped me make tens of thousands of dollars since I've used it to help automate my various businesses, and I want to share those with you. And if you decide to use the tool, totally up to you. You can use the link below, and I'll be happy to share with you the real estate campaigns that I actually have and the wording and everything. And we can even schedule a 30-minute consultation where I can walk through with you the inside scoop on how I'm setting up REI Reply and how I can help you in your business. Okay, enjoy the video. All right, how are you doing, y'all? So this is the highly awaited review of REI Reply, the latest features. Dive right in here. Dashboard, just some statistics if you've got things broken down in your different pipelines, which we'll touch on in a little bit. You've got different kind of funnels to track things and what stages they're in. And there's a little item here for tasks, along with some summaries of some of your results. And I wanted to go through, not in detail, this is not a training video on using the tool. This is just a detailed kind of overview of what you're going to be getting when you sign up for REI Reply. You decide to use this CRM. At the very top here, you've got the training modules where you can ask for support, and their support is very good response time. From my experience, in fact, many times I get a phone call to get an answer to my question, and other times I just get an email from their staff. Training Center is where you get very detailed videos of everything you need within the tool, and the latest features are also presented in their weekly calls that they have with live questions. So the Training Center, under motivated sellers, they do have a link where you can sign up under their PropStream account. PropStream is a wonderful platform for getting leads. For the mailers, this is a third-party company where you can go to mail off direct mail to your prospects, which you can upload a list and send this out. This is not integrated with REI Reply. This is just a way that you can go in and get some discounted mailers sent out. All right, so that's that. Chirply, I wanted to touch on this. This is a very powerful system. Chirply looks something like this. For example, in my Chirply account, I was selling a house rent to own, and it will have a recording that you can record and talk about, like press 1 to go to this menu, press 2 for another one, and based on the options, it'll go to that recording where they can learn about the properties, or maybe they want to press 2 and be connected to an agent. And if it's one or more properties, you can even have something like press 1 for house number 1, press 2 for house number 2. So there's a whole call system here. And I wanted to let you know that with Chirply, if you go to the website chirply.io, you can read more about it. But this is something that you get with REI Reply, and it actually is included free. You get the Platinum version. Let me scroll down here. Platinum alone is $1,000 a month. And check this out. You get to use Chirply, and there's a lot of stuff in here which is kind of overlap with REI Reply. Like you can get phone numbers in here and autoresponders and campaigns. But the thing is, you're not paying $1,000 a month. There are things that are integrated with the tool, but now you can get the extended functionality that Chirply provides, and you get that all for free. So I thought that's a very nice added bonus that comes with the tool. So that's what Chirply is. Launchpad is where you can get some integrations with various systems in here, like you can have it connected to your Facebook account. One thing the owner told me is that social media would be added to this very shortly in the new year. So it probably, by the time of this recording, you may even have additional features because they're adding it every month for social media. And anyway, you can connect with like your Stripe account, Yext, things like that. So I looked at the dashboard earlier. Conversations is very, very powerful. This is where you can literally see whatever conversations are coming in whenever they respond back to your texting. This is kind of like a whole list of anybody who responds back, any kind of text that goes out. You can just click and you'll see all the series of messages that have gone out over time, and you'll see that all the conversations. So, like for example, this is a deal. We've had a lot of phone calls with this person. Every one of the phone calls are recorded, and I can click on the actual person from in here. See, there's back and forth texting, right? I can click on the person's record, and then it'll go into detailed notes of what offers I sent out, and all the way back to details of the property after we had that initial phone call, and then anything else I want to add in here of my notes and what the value of the property is, and just things like that. So all the details about the contacts are found in here. Obviously the address, and there's a link to Zillow or Google. But in the additional info, for example, for the contact, this is where you have all of your custom fields. For example, you may have a website form that asks them how many bedrooms and baths, and email, and what their asking price is, year built, multiple phone numbers. So you can have as many fields as you want. You can add them as much as you want, and have the tags in here, which you can tag them on what lead sources they came in, whether they're interested or not. This is basically the lifeblood of the system, because in this CRM, that lead that comes in, you can see what campaigns they're in, what previous campaigns that they were put in, and you can send SMS messages and email messages that goes out directly to them. So this contact information right here is key, and this is also where you can make a phone call. Right here, you click this little phone icon, and you can dial right out and make calls to the system, and it gets recorded. Okay, so that's the contact information. I'm going to keep going here because we got a lot to cover. So what I was just showing you is from the conversations, which looks into like the anybody who responded or called you. You can just track them all in here, and then dig in deeper with that contact. Well, pipelines is really, really cool, because here you can visually see the leads that are coming through. I don't have any more warm or hot because I've handled them all, meaning I've already filed them and moved them along into the different stages as I see fit. But there's people in here who are like retail leads versus those that are in the middle of being negotiated, under contract, following up, and sold, long-term follow-ups, sent to realtor, things that are lost. So these are all custom. You can add as many of these as you want. This is the acquisition pipeline, and I also have a seller pipeline when we have leads that are being worked on, because initially we may have leads coming in from SMS campaigns and stuff like that. So people who replied, anybody who replied is means that they're willing to engage with you, perhaps, and maybe they'll ask a question. So this is where you can go in and work on those leads, and you can move things into the missed call, and leads that need certain attention, things of that nature. Every one of these can be brought into a different automated kind of follow-up system. So that's the pipeline. You can move them around visually. Workflows is a very powerful way where you can create a lot of like automated flows. It's similar to campaigns, which I'll talk about in a little bit here. But what workflows does is it kind of automates the way campaigns are handled. I don't have workflows set up here, but when you get an onboarding, they can better explain what the workflow is. But that's pretty much what like a campaign is. And I wanted to touch on campaigns because this is right here is the lifeblood of the system. And when you have campaigns, this is where you can have various kinds of like pre-foreclosure campaigns, vacant campaigns. I've got like campaigns in here based on different leads that we're hitting, absentee landlords, vacancy lists, um, different kinds of, like code enforcement and different things like that, driving for dollars. So there are some ready-made campaigns, probate and pre-foreclosure, but you can create as many of these as you want. All right, and then have custom messages. So for example, like I have all these campaigns, like let's say 500 at a time, and in this one we'll have a blast that would say, hey, we're looking to buy in the area. We could work out something fair. Would you let go of that property? And there's all the variables. Every field in the system has a variable so that you can substitute that information so that it looks like personalized. And so this message is sent immediately, 0 minutes, and the next one is sent within a day of them, and then another one in another day, so that they're being followed up on automatically. And if anybody replies, it'll automatically be put into that replied stage of the pipeline, so that you're only working on those people that actually replied and not waste your time on other stuff. And if people reply back, cussing you out or say not interested or stop, it can be automatically programmed with a trigger that looks for the word stop or some cuss words or whatever, and it will automatically put them in a do not respond or do not contact again, so that it kind of saves you a lot of time, because it'll just start filing people for you, and a lot of that is already set up in the system for you automatically. So as you can see here, you can have as many campaigns as you want, and we've got a ton here over time, just thousands of records being processed. So that's the lifeblood. Also want to keep going here. There's various template emails that you can develop on what can be sent out, like custom templates. Trigger links are great ways of putting shortcuts, like a shortcut to an ebook that you have, or a download, or let's say you have a trigger link that a website that you copy paste a lot, so you can put this as like a little shortcut when you're writing messages. Form Builder is a place where you can create any kind of form for your website, so that this form can be put on any website, and when they hit the button, it will either go into like a funnel, or like a thank you message, or or just trigger, like add them directly into the system, and then trigger a message to you that says a new lead has come in. So you can just do anything like that, and all these forms can be pretty much planted on any site that you have. A survey builder, you can have a questionnaire, like a survey, to ask users, hey, how was your service, and different questions to ask them. That's included for free. Here's some more like text messages that you can have as templates. This is very handy when you have these one-off messages that you want to send people. Instead of writing the same thing, like after they respond and they ask the same question, like, what's the name of your company? Instead of just typing it again and again, you just paste your template, because you may not want to have that sent automatically. So you paste the message when you want to respond to a certain question over and over again. Here again is email templates. This is HTML builder, so it's been replaced by this email links here. Reportings, there's different kinds of reporting for your advertising here, and any appointments that you made. These are different reports that you'll find. Scheduling is really cool because you can add your Google Calendar in here, and it integrates with your Google Calendar. This will give you, like in appointments, all the appointments that you have. And one thing I wanted to bring to your attention is that I have my own little like Calendly, and you've got some of these apps that you can put in a way that people can schedule meetings with you. Well, I use REI Reply for that, And this link here is actually an REI Reply link based on their system. So whenever someone sets up a time to meet with me, I can basically, once I click it, it automatically sends email messages and text messages that says that an appointment has been set, and it keeps reminding them, let's say a couple of hours before the appointment, it sends automatic reminders that the appointment is coming up. Also wanted to keep going here about like the reputation. This REI Applies also can be integrated with your Google My Business site, so that people can put in reviews through a link that you provide, and whenever they give you a review, it integrates directly with your Google My Business. And that kind of ties in with this online listing feature here. This is actually a service that they're providing. You have to pay extra here. It's $49. But what they do is they add your business. If you're a local business, for example, they'll add it manually to all these sites here. You know, you can do it yourself, but this saves a whole lot of time, like submitting your business into, you know, like Yelp and Google My Business and Hot Frog and, you know, Local Stack, all of this full list here. They would create accounts, add your business, and then keep it up so that it gets out there in the organic searches. So that's an extra fee or cost, but at least the service of saving you time is provided there for you. Contacts I touched on earlier, where these are the contacts of people that were imported in, and you can organize like under categories, whether they're probate or warm or hot leads, retail leads. You can create any kind of category that you want, and based on filters. So like, you know, you can have a tag that you can make a new list based on any kind of list that you have. See, these are various lists that were imported, but you can say, hey, you know, let me get a list of all of my deals that were closed, and then you can send a blast email to them, for example. So you can filter this list by anything that you want, and then there are controls here at the top where you can move people around in the pipeline. If you select a bunch of people, you can actually come in here and do pick like a campaign that will blast a message to them. All right, so for example, you can have a certain list that you wanted to send a blast message to, so you can select which contacts that you like, and under this little robot looking thing, you can come in here and pick a particular kind of campaign, which may have like either one message or a series of messages, and then you can come in here and add a message to them all at once. I recommend like scheduling in a drip mode, for example, and you would start, let's say, you know, you would start at a certain date and start sending, let's say 50 at a time, repeat after either 15 minutes or, you know, or a few days apart, only doing it on Saturday, not on Saturdays and Sundays, you know, on the 4 days of the week, within a certain time, so that it's within the times that you're able to work on these leads. So you can just program when it's going to send out, and that way it will only send it during that period. So when people respond right away, then you are able to cater to them and be able to respond, and they don't have to just sit there. You know, it might break rapport when it takes 24 hours for them to answer a question like, who is this, you know, something like that. So, you know, these are ways that you can blast a message, add people to campaigns, drip on them. it just makes it really, really, really simple here. And also, you can, when you add these, you can add these for a manual type action, which means you can cold call them. And see here, these are all like leads that were added for a manual action. So when we click on the button that says let's start, that's basically going to call all of the people in this list. It'll just go one after another, and it would just start dialing, and you just hit next, next, next to go to the next number. Or you can click a response on whether it's a missed number or voicemail, things like that. This is a whole dialer built in, so you can pick which leads of which list you would like to call, and then once you hit let's start, like Mojo Dialer does and Zen Call and stuff, once you hit start, it'll just dial one after another. So that's really cool. Moving on here, the funnels. Funnels is kind of like what you get with, let's say, ClickFunnels, where you can have, let's say, a certain something that you want to sell them. It's different steps of the funnel, right? So that is included with this. Websites, I have a number of websites that are built in here, but there's certain templates that are already provided. That's quite professionally done, and all you need to do is come into the site, change your logo around and some of the wording, and it'll pretty much have a website already ready and formatted for you. So you have a couple of buyer websites and seller websites as well. There's a membership module here as well, where you can actually have a whole membership site. For example, like let's say you want people to sign up for a membership. Let's say you have products that you're selling, maybe a membership, or maybe you have people wanting to come and download ebooks on how to sell their houses fast. You can give them a free membership as a lead, and they can come in and download different things. So it's what I'm showing you here is if you decide to use it, it's something that's included in REI Reply. Triggers is a very integral part of the system. It ties in very closely to the campaigns that I talked about earlier. These triggers is the lifeblood of the system, because whenever someone replies to a campaign, it will actually be because of a trigger that's defined. A lot of these triggers are already built into the system, so you don't have to worry about them. But after you go through a little bit of training, you can learn how to create your own triggers so that it can pretty much like do whatever you want it to do. In other words, if you don't want it to automatically send you a text message and stuff like that, well, you can tweak this and not have it do certain things. For example, whenever someone responded to a pre-foreclosure campaign, they replied to the campaign, it automatically adds them to the opportunity, which is in the pipeline. So it adds them to the seller pipeline under the replied stage, and it fills in certain variables about them. And then it also adds a contact tag that says they replied. That's why I was able to see which ones have replied and which ones have not, because it's the triggers that defines what happens whenever a certain activity takes place. So triggers are really powerful, and is the core to the automation. Chat widget, you know how you have little widgets that come up that says, hey, how can I help you on your website? Well, that's like a chat bubble, and you get to have a chat bubble here that you can add to your website, and you can create one and just add the code, and that way you can be more customer centric when people come visit you. Settings gives you the full power of all the back office, creating multiple phone numbers. Like we have a bunch of phone numbers, and integrates with like all the people in your team. They can log in with different logins and passwords and capabilities on what they can view or not. It tracks what are the websites that are tied with your account. So everything here, basically you can create all the custom tags and everything about the company and the settings for the site here. Finally, I wanted to touch on a couple more things, and that's the skip trace. Skip trace butler is part of REI Reply. If you go to their website, Skip Trace Butler, you can actually read more about it. Now, when you come down to Skip Trace Butler, I want to tell you it's 10 cents per lead, which is really very affordable here and very competitive in the marketplace. These come from medical records, which usually is very accurate, and you can get the cell phone type numbers from them. And if you come to their site, it's either $49 a month if you're not an REI Reply member, but if you are, all you do is pay 10 cents per lead. And one powerful thing about Skip Trace Butler is that it's not just giving you a number and information about them. You actually can have a capability of stacking these lists. So that's a very powerful concept now, where if you're uploading a list of, let's say, absentee owners, vacant properties, tax delinquents, also they may be under some kind of probate situation, or maybe they're under a divorce. If you have all these lists, you can upload them into Skip Trace Butler, and it will figure out, of all these thousands of leads here, these are the 150 that have one or more of these problem situations. Like they may be in the middle of a divorce and pre-foreclosure, for example, or their house is vacant. Would you say that that's a much higher lead, a much better lead than someone who's just got an absentee owner? Absolutely. So that's what we're talking about, that they have the stacking capability, which helps with that a lot. Well, this concludes the demo of the inside, behind the scenes look at REI Reply. If you have any questions, feel free to post it below. Keep in mind, I can give you a dump of my campaigns and all the text messages that I have if you decide to sign. I have a link at the bottom of this video in the description. If you use the link, we can schedule a time to talk about it, and I'll be happy to share my campaigns with you free of charge. All right? Okay, with that, I hope you like this video and subscribe. Thank you. One thing I also wanted to share with you is what their mobile app looks like on the phone. So here's an example of what the phone app looks like. And if you come in here under conversations, you'll have a listing of all the various conversations that have come through. So the list of all of your conversations would be found here. And when you click on one of the conversations who replied, you can hear the recording and all the text messages. You can actually text from here as well, and you can make phone calls directly to the person by just pressing that phone call there. What I do is I can manage my database in terms of like handling the leads as I'm going to their house or doing a pickup and things like that. I can just call them on my way, and it's going to use the phone number that's on my system, and I can text like if it's from the system itself. You can also manage your pipeline from in here. Look at your calendar and your appointments that's been set up, and you can also manage all of your leads from this app. So it's not as full-fledged as the actual desktop app, but it allows me at least to respond to my contacts as I'm meeting with them and talking to them, and those are the core features that I need in the tool when I'm on the go. So this mobile app is actually a super extension to the desktop, because I need to be able to reach these contacts and know when my appointments are going to be and things like that. All right, so I hope you enjoyed the detailed overview of the tool. And again, if you decide to use the tool for yourself, you're welcome to use the link below, and I'll be happy to send you the detailed wordings and all the campaigns that I use in my real estate business that has helped me earn a lot of money. And also you can schedule a 30-minute consultation with me. All right, till next time, take care.